What's going on, y'all? Welcome into another episode of the Final Drive over here at Sour Kids Production Studios. It is Alec, Javante, DeAndre, and it's kind of been a relatively quiet-ish week in the NFL, and I say this because only one quarterback got an extension this week compared to the trades and whatnot we've had the last couple of weeks. A couple signings here and there, but besides that, guys, it's been a pretty quiet week, so hey, it makes the show a lot easier tonight. Gentlemen, before we dive into all this stuff, how are you guys doing today?
Doing great, honestly. I mean, just had a pretty busy week, but my laptop got damaged.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's why I took
Were you and Javante arguing over I don't know, something comic book movie related?
I know, right?
And then there was a snapping point.
That's how some people would probably guess it happened, but yeah, it just stopped working. And sadly that's the laptop that we use to edit our videos for our channel. So that's why
I've noticed there hasn't been nothing out.
So recently, like yesterday, I went to the Apple store and ended up getting an upgrade, and it works so much better. Like usually a 6 or 8 minute video would take like 30 to 40 minutes to export. Now it only takes like 10 minutes.
You get the A15 chip. You got a new laptop.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to upgrade.
I know, right?
In this day and age, you got to upgrade.
Yeah.
Javante, how you been? You were not here last week.
Yeah, I like the show was pretty good. I saw you guys try to imitate me a little bit. You did a pretty good job. I saw the clip. I showed me the whole clip. Try to imitate me a little bit, you know.
But no one can live up to you, Javante.
Nah, that's all good.
No one can imitate.
I'll see my company here like Suge Knight holding you on the balcony, but I'll just it was cool though.
You will not play Jay again.
Yeah. No one can be as biased as you know.
Yeah, but overall, it's been a good week. I'm not gonna give you that time of day.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a good week. Y'all did a good show last week. Shout out to all y'all, man, what y'all did.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm chilling. It's been pretty cool.
Yes. Well, it wouldn't be a show without some more Raider news, of course, and we have our local Raider fan here, Javante. Obviously, the news came out today on Thursday. Did it come out today? It was this morning, right?
Came out yesterday.
Yesterday, Wednesday morning.
Watched over the press conference.
Hey, there you go. Derek Carr, 3-year extension, $121 million. Added on, he will likely. Well, he said it himself. He said it in the press conference. He wants to finish out his career as a Raider,
golf.
and doesn't want to be anywhere else. Yeah. So the Raiders have not only locked up Max Crosby, but they added Devontae Adams to a monster deal, Chandler Jones to a pretty fat contract, and now have extended their franchise quarterback Derek Carr.
And we have to still do Hunter. Hunter got to get done still too.
And there's still plenty more. And I'll throw it to you, Javante. I mean, Derek Carr, he's the guy I think most people are kind of borderline. He is the franchise quarterback, or he's not a guy that you can win a Super Bowl with.
Yeah.
I personally am in the boat of he's probably top 10, top 12 quarterback in this game. And I think he's a guy that I would like to build around. I think he's a leader. He does and says all the right things in the community. He's a good guy. Mm-hmm. I think he is that franchise quarterback that could, with the right pieces, get you to the Super Bowl.
I completely agree.
What do you guys think?
I completely agree. You said perfect. I was about to say that. I think, okay, we look at like straight just talent. Of course, he's not Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or any of these guys. But as a quarterback, just what you would want out of your quarterback, your leader, he's perfect. And I think with the amount of talent around him, he can definitely lead you to a Super Bowl. And I think, this roster is amazing, especially on the offensive end. I think it's probably the most talented roster he's played with. I think it's one of the most talented rosters the Raiders have had in a while. You know what I mean? With the running back core, the receivers, the tight ends, the skill positions. You know what I mean? Just stacked up. But as far as the contract extension, I thought it was a great deal for the Raiders. Honestly, it feels like a 1-year extension, honestly, because I don't think the money has come up for the yearly rate for like what he's gonna make. But I knew he had like 1 more year in his deal. But I mean, no trade clause, 2 more years added on. I'm all with it. And the money, I guess we'll see what the annual salary is looking like every year. But overall, for the amount of money, I'm like,
yeah. And I would assume with the TV deals kicking in next year, the cap growing each year and year as they recover from COVID. Mm-hmm. This extension will probably actually in the long run help the Raiders out with cap room down the road. So
compared to like the extension that a lot of quarterbacks got this summer, I mean, like it's a pretty good extension for the team. It's very team friendly also, and then like we guys still get Hunter Renfrow done and guys like that, but. Overall,
it's not like the Raiders went out of their way to make him the highest paid quarterback in the league. They paid him something in that middle tier level, and the market's just going to keep resetting. So at that point, like his contract won't even be that big of a like a margin as far as the salary cap. But I do believe Derek Carr is a good quarterback. I think he's definitely, like you said, top 15 at least. He's had his fair share of clutch moments in the league as well. And like Javonte, you mentioned, like they have a fully talented team around him. This time, he has a guy who's comfortable with throwing back to his college days, and I look at it, and I think from a Raiders perspective, you can't really do any better because like you could think about Derek Carr and where Raiders quarterbacks before him have been, like after
Gannon.
Rich Gannon,
Yeah.
Rich Gannon in 2002, I believe. You had the Kyle Bowler, you had Carson Palmer, you had Jason Campbell, Jamarcus Russell, Terrell Pryor, Matt McGloin, so there was just this revolving door, and now you have a guy who's at least been consistent throughout his play since he's played as a rookie, his first year, what was it, 2015, 2016 as a Raider. So I think that's
2014.
2014, yeah.
I think didn't him and Khalil Mack come in the same year?
I think it was him and Jadeveon Clowney. Or was Jadeveon and Khalil the same year?
I want to say yes.
So yeah, same year as those guys. Yes.
Yeah.
So I look at that and I just think that's something that they take into account as well. Like, hey, it took us this long to get a guy to be this stable of a guy in our franchise. So
yeah, and I mean, here's my thing about the Raiders. I think you look at last year what this team went. I mean, the Raiders.
Best team in the division.
Look, they went through things that no NFL team should have gone through last year.
Still made the postseason.
And yet they still made the postseason. They
Lost
were
to the team that ended up going to the Super Bowl.
And they were a series away from, tying that game. Yeah. I mean, and you could probably say fairly confidently, without Derek Carr, that team is nowhere near where they ended up last year.
Yeah.
So
and you look at their staff, like they didn't have any offensive minded guys like they have this year with Josh McDaniels. So it's just going to take Derek Carr's talents to the next level.
Well, also not just that, but they might like the AB thing. Like, you thinking, AB's going to come and help Derek Carr. We got a star receiver, and that doesn't turn out right. So there's always been some drama or like some kind of problem within the organization. But to see finally things are turning around and everything.
And even his second year in the league where he, at that point, was an MVP candidate. You could
2016. 2016, yeah.
Broke his ankle.
No playoffs.
Second to last week of the season.
Yeah.
We had Carson Palmer, freshman man Carson Palmer too.
What are you talking about? I said Carson Palmer.
Forgot him.
Never forget Carson Palmer.
Forget Carson Palmer.
Also, man, shout out to Mark Davis, because Mark Davis, I always hear people talk bad about him. Like, he's considered like a lower tier owner when it comes to like this game of owners and stuff like that. You got the Jerry Jones, you got the old job for the LA Rams and stuff like that.
I think we kind of judge based on the later years of Al and his.
It wasn't Al Davis' fault,
his speed kills philosophy.
I mean, and Mark Davis inherited what at that point 2010s, the late 2000s Raiders were ultimately they were a joke for the longest time since Rich Gannon. They were the laughing stock after the whole Jamarcus Russell thing, and Mark Davis kind of inherited. A crappy organization, and that just takes time to rebuild. And now, this is arguably the most talented roster the Raiders have put together.
That's why I
maybe since the Jerry Rice and Tim Brown days.
Yeah.
So
and you look at, I think this is the best team in the division. I'm saying again, the best team in the division.
It's not wild to think that.
I'm just looking at.
I don't know if I agree with you, but I'm saying it's not wild to think.
I'm looking at everything as far as like the defense, the offense, the skill positions. I look at the running back. They have the best running back in the division. Or you can argue him with Javonte Williams. They probably have, third, maybe fourth best quarterback. That's fine. It's not like just that's a great quarterback division. The best receiver in the division. The second best tight end in the division. Mm-hmm. The second best, probably, I couldn't Hunter Renfrow better than, we put Hunter Renfrow after Keenan Allen, Marvin Williams. I put Hunter Renfrow. Probably the best slot.
Okay.
And who else am I think? Defensively, best combo pass rushers. Chandler Jones and Mad Max.
Okay.
Great pass rushers.
Yep.
Secondary got some question marks still. But out of the talent of the team, I think it's just talented squad, bro.
Okay.
That is. You could argue it's probably the most well-rounded roster in that division. I think.
That's why
Personally, I still think Denver is the team to beat right now because you look at the Chiefs.
I would put the Chiefs number one still. I got to put. They were the team that.
That's what they do in the draft first.
They were the front runner last year. They were the team that won the AFC West last year. They got a boatload of draft picks. They made some pretty good signings. I thought the Marquez Valdez-Scantling signing was good. That's an underrated one. Ronald Jones as
It's basically a cheaper
running back.
replacement for
The
Tyreek
deep-
Hill.
the
Yeah, and
Okay.
signing Justin Reed from Houston as a cheaper replacement to Tyrann Mathieu. I feel
It
like
might be an upgrade, in honesty.
yeah.
That's cool, but what I'm saying is like you look at the division the last couple of years, the Chiefs are ramped because the division's been kind of bad. Like they've been the most dominant offense in the division.
Yeah.
Now that everybody else has caught up with them, I feel like there's some offenses that are better than them.
and I still say this: the Chiefs have the best. They still have the best quarterback in the division.
They still can't run the ball though.
Okay, but I mean,
Every other team in that division can run the ball except for them.
But do they really need to run the ball?
Yes,
like that?
that's what it's come down to.
Do they really need to run it like
What stopped them in the
to,
playoffs last
to a
year?
point where
When they played Cincinnati, what stopped them? They couldn't run the ball.
no? What stopped them was Pat Mahomes got.
But
too
also
foolish,
they couldn't
but
run
yeah.
the ball. They literally had to make Pat Mahomes, hey, go make a play. Because they could never run the ball
Yeah.
successfully. So what I'm saying is, I look at these other teams, every other team in that division has a good running back and can actually run the ball.
Okay, you can't. There's some good prospects in the for what second and third round. They could.
You're
add
talking about another
something
rookie
there.
like you basically what you do with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Get another rookie and try. I'm talking about we have.
He was
we have-
never a fit in Kansas
But we look
City.
at hold on. We look at last year at San Francisco. They got Elijah Mitchell, a 6th-round draft pick, who led them in rushing. So
That's a great O line also.
and the Chiefs have a pretty good offensive line too.
Which kind of like didn't live up to the hype.
Yeah,
I might add.
And the
I think
Broncos-
give them a second season. I think that, they'll be more in sync heading into this offseason.
The Broncos have a new head coach. Like we ain't gonna give that no consideration either.
Yeah, but also that's what I was gonna say. The Chiefs, the one thing they have over y'all,
It's Andy Reid.
Andy Reid, and
Pat Mahomes,
Andy
like,
Reid's
yeah.
a great coach, and that's something that I still favor Kansas City just because of that.
So no matter what, we can agree. You think the Chiefs, you think the Raiders, I think the Broncos.
Chargers the last one.
So we with the Chargers, I
Yeah.
guess, so we're all
I think Chargers
agreed.
or Broncos.
We're all
I think Chargers or Broncos are the 4.
The Chargers, to me, they got to prove it to me they can't charger a football game
Yeah.
because that's just what they do. They can make all these big splash moves, but at the end of the day, they got to put together a solid game
Yeah.
because they always find ways to charger it.
Let me ask you this also.
And it's like this. Like, I'm not saying the Raiders aren't like they don't deserve to be
know.
number one. It's nothing like that. All I'm saying is like it's kind of like the same thing with the NFC North. Like
If
I take Green Bay every year until I can see an actual
But
team
the difference
on the field.
The difference with that also is you haven't seen no team. Okay, imagine this. Like usually Green Bay makes the most updates in that additions in that division, right?
Not really. They rarely make moves. I mean, it was 2 years ago that they
They had
finally
Aaron
made a
Rodgers.
splurge
Aaron
in
Rodgers
free
stud. They had
agency.
Devontae. They had some studs on the offensive end.
Correct.
That you knew what they were going to get. The Chiefs have really only Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes you can really rely on. Everything else is a question mark. From Juju to Marquez Valdez, all that's it's question marks. So like with the Packers, I get because you have Devontae Adams, Pro Bowl receiver, best receiver in the game, best quarterback, top 10 running back. The Chiefs, you literally only Travis Kelce, and he's getting older.
So we're gonna act like
Pat Mahomes.
Juju. I feel like Juju will have a.
We gotta see what he's going to be because now pressure's on him now. Now he's back to being a number 1 pretty much.
But he's back to being the number one. But also he has a better quarterback in Patrick Mahomes.
I think my
than
thing with the
Roethlisberger.
Chiefs is I think, if I'm game planning for the Chiefs, the speed and threat of Tyreek Hill does not make me scared of the Chiefs' deep ball game anymore.
Exactly.
I'm going to play up on Travis Kelce. I'm going to make Patrick Mahomes beat me.
Exactly.
Because we saw last year, we saw teams, if you play that deep 2 safety defense and you wait and make Pat Mahomes try to move around the pocket and make these crazy throws, he'll give you a turnover. We saw it this year in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
He got better with it,
Until the playoff game.
in the second half of the season. But, the Chiefs also ran the ball a lot more in the second half of the season with Darrell Williams, not Clyde Edwards-Helaire because he got banged up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if I'm Kansas City, I'm kind of thinking, what can Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy cook up in the lab to make? Because, I mean, if I'm looking at Juju, Marquez, and Nicole Hardman, I'm not all
Doesn't
that
make you
scared.
scared.
Well, let me ask you this because you mentioned this a couple weeks ago where you talked about this draft class and how receivers it's deep.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm pretty sure we've seen every mock draft. At least one of the Chiefs' first round picks this year, they're predicted to
Take a receiver.
take a receiver.
Yeah.
So you add that to the mix as well, and it's one of those things where you look at it last year where you had Tyreek Hill, McCall Hardman, and then the rest it was bottom tier.
Right.
Whereas this year you have an actual all around balanced out wide receiver room, which could be better for him.
But I think to Alex's point, when you get some on the draft, I know all these receivers are fast, but you don't have Tyreek Hill type a guy. You don't have a Tyreek Hill game changer like that. Regardless of what you say, I mean, he's a rookie receiver. I'm not saying they can have impact, but I just look at why I picked them for the division, not because I'm a Raiders fan, but also because I look at the additions and subtractions. I feel like the Chiefs are the one that lost something, a key piece. Everybody else in the division added. Like from Khalil Mack going to Chargers and again J.C. Jackson, like everybody else made upgrades except for the Chiefs. They made a move with the safety. They pretty much just stayed either neutral or went down because losing Tyreek Hill, let's be honest, that's a big loss. That's a Pro Bowl receiver.
Yeah, and then you can say what you want, but his speed,
his speed changes the game. And
his speed's one of the best.
Not having that now, I mean, Juju's cool. He might be all right, but does that put fear in you like that? I mean, not like the level Tyreek Hill does. Tyreek Hill will take 10 yards and go crazy.
No, so we'll see what happens. Yeah. But in other quarterback news, Baker Mayfield appeared on a podcast, came out and said he felt disrespected by the Browns. He was told one thing by the Browns, and then did a whole other thing, of course, referring to the whole Deshaun Watson thing, where the Browns, as we don't know, they went out and made their pitch, landed Deshaun Watson, and I guess they told Baker that you're a guy going into this year.
I got some comments about this. Can't wait.
And Baker had came out and said Seattle looks like that's the only valuable option.
Something like that, right?
Well, that was before Matt Ryan.
Yeah. That's what he said, yeah.
But now it's likely Seattle when you think about it. So, I mean, to think where the Browns started off at the end of the year with this whole quarterback thing, we knew there were some questions, obviously, right? With Baker's health, with the team kind of not really seeming committed to Baker. And obviously the OBJ thing did not help at all because you saw Odell go out and play in LA, and clearly Odell was not the problem in Cleveland. We can't agree to that. Mm-hmm. So I mean, just what are some of our thoughts on this whole Browns Baker thing? Because no matter what, I feel like it's going to have an ugly ending.
Baker Mayfield looks the worst in this situation because the simple fact he won that show and he's talking about my feelings and this and that. Then this is the job. You're on a fifth-year option. By trying to get paid, this is a job. You haven't performed like that. Let's be honest. This roster has been loaded for what, 2-3 years now? It's been a loaded roster since his second year in the league, and he hasn't gotten better. 2 top-tier receivers. You give Joe. I hate to say it. I don't know. I might be wrong for this, but you put Tua in there. What Tua doing? A great offensive line, 2 good running backs, receivers. Even Tua might have some success. I'm saying like for that level, like what you expect. Like, I just don't feel bad for Baker. I feel like Baker Mayfield honestly kind of comes off like now, like, he's lost himself. No confidence. Usually Baker Mayfield, like, the underdog, hey, I can do whatever. Now it seems like, oh, I'm just, they did me wrong.
And to think he was taken first overall.
Excuses, the fans. The fans have a right to being booing. And this is the thing also. Baker Mayfield went number 1 overall. We got to keep that in consideration. You went the number 1 overall pick. So, of course, the expectations, like, you went number 1 over guys like Josh Allen and dudes like that. Like, come on now. Lamar Jackson. Go ahead, though. I'll save some for you. Go ahead.
You make solid points.
Oh, he's going to go against me.
On certain...
Didn't expect this one.
On certain things. I agree. Because I feel like, at this point, it was right for the Browns to move on from Baker Mayfield to Deshaun Watson. Like, of course. Like, if anybody...
If you could do it, if they had a viable chance to do it, and they did.
Yeah. You're going to do it.
Oh, great.
So I don't blame them for that. But Baker shouldn't be mad at that. But what I do agree with Baker on is that he should have been told that, hey, the Browns are pursuing Deshaun Watson. We're pursuing another guy. This is a guy who you drafted as your number one overall pick. He's your franchise guy when he's drafted into the league. He's a guy who brought you into the playoffs for the first time in almost a decade?
Over a decade.
Almost 2 decades?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So, I just feel like he deserved at least to be informed that, hey,
and
we're going for
kept up with how everything went.
Right.
Did you say he should be informed that we possibly would be looking at Deshaun Watson?
And,
is that what you're saying? Huh? He should have kept informed that they were possibly going to look at Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
That's fair because I think, and just one note to add, from a player perspective, you want that from ownership and management to keep you informed, every step along the way, whether it's going to help you or not. You wanted to know, right?
Yeah, every player should be at least informed of.
Because I mean, with the Falcons, despite everything happening so fast, they told Matt Ryan, "Hey, we got a shot here. Seriously, take the weekend. You find where you want to go, and we'll make a trade work."
Right.
It didn't work out for the Falcons, but at the end of the day, they still went through with and traded Matt Ryan away. So it's all about doing right by the players.
Yeah. And also,
if you're going to upgrade, keep the guy informed.
Yeah, and also it's Baker. You look at what he did this past year, playing through that injury, which I thought he should have got the surgery, but obviously he was playing
because he needed a contract.
He wanted the contract, but still, it's a guy who put everything on the line for his team.
I think he also wanted to prove that he was still the franchise quarterback for this team.
Yeah.
Because I think even after last year with the playoff success, people still kind of had questions of, is he really a franchise quarterback?
Yeah.
Well, a lot y'all have said here. Y'all have said a lot. First off, Matt Ryan was owed that because Matt Ryan's a vet in this league. Matt Ryan has been that franchise. He has led that franchise to the Super Bowl. Also, Matt Ryan's been a trade target for what, 2-3 years now? Matt Ryan's been a trade target for a minute, and Matt Ryan stayed professional.
Yeah, but the moment the Falcons...
Baker Mayfield's wife be putting all kinds of tweets. They've been all kinds of tweets Baker Mayfield's side and put it out.
Well, yeah, and
For the last couple
she
years.
did intervene and, you know...
For the last couple of years, Baker Mayfield has put his side of the story out there for a while. So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, it's either share or get off the pot. You're playing the most important position on the field, quarterback. Hey, bro, it's a business. We're gonna update. It ain't like the man got his papers still. He gonna get traded somewhere. He'll have opportunity to still show what he can do. He's still young, but I just felt for Baker Mayfield. It's like, bro, you've always been an underdog. Like, this shouldn't change anything. You went to walk on. You walked on twice. Your mindset should be
But I'm
automatically.
saying, what are you saying that you disagree with us on? Like, it's
Because
That
we
he- that he's
agreed
owned- that he's
we agreed
owned-
with you, but...
that I owe him a damn.
Well,
I'm gonna take a job.
he was your first overall pick. He
And he hasn't lived up to the first overall pick. I look at his class. Who else was that class? Let's go through
I
it.
just think of it as a player in general. I think all NFL players think it the same way.
Yeah, of
Like,
course, all
Right.
NFL players
At the end of
want
the
that
day-
due diligence. I get that from his side. I get that. But as an owner, I'm like, I mean, bruh, I'm looking for a better. This is a guy that's update. Like, you shouldn't get butthurt and take it personally that I might look for an upgrade over you.
No,
but the Browns should have told him.
Yeah, it's-
the Browns
it's not-
didn't.
it's not
The Browns didn't tell him that.
Yes.
Yeah, what
Baker
if
found
I
out-
don't get Deshaun Watson? I gotta
Baker-
keep Baker Mayfield happy.
But
I can't
Baker was.
tell him
But
that.
Baker wasn't fun. Here's the thing. So if you're Baker, right? So would you rather have the Browns tell you that they're looking at Deshaun Watson, or would you rather find out through Twitter for some reporter that the Browns are looking at Deshaun Watson and they didn't tell you about it?
that they're bringing him in for a visit. And
Yeah.
everything.
No, of course, as a
how would-
player, I'll write. You tell me. I get that.
Yeah,
but
but,
what I'm
that's-
saying
but
also.
we're agreeing with you on everything
Yeah,
else.
if I'm 5 years in though, also if I've been in the league for 5 years and I haven't shown that I can be the guy, I understand why I'm on the hot seat.
And I do think Baker, and my thing with Baker is I feel like, you know, from the moment, you know, him and Hugh Jackson had the whole fallout and like he was, you know, publicly, you know, like making these comments about Hugh Jackson and, you know,
And Freddie
and-
Kitchens.
Yeah. I just feel like he's always had kind of not necessarily a maturity thing, but just something, you know, it's like Javonda said, it's a business. You can't go out here bad mouthing people because at the end of the day, whatever you do and put out there, whether it's playing or in the media, teams see that, right? Teams see how you look, and that's how you're perceived.
Right.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you are just trying to put your best product out there of yourself as a player and as a leader, as a quarterback, whatever.
And I think also the whole blow up the coaches and somebody talking about, I had all these coaches. Look, each coach gave you a different. Look, let's be honest. All those coaches were different. Freddie Kitchens let you throw the ball and sling it around. How many interceptions that year? He gave you a chance to sling it around and throw it around and say, I'm the quarterback. We're going to throw Odell Beckham. All these guys, I'm going to sling it. What was his numbers looking like? Then you bring a new coach in that's going to make you more of a game manager. Dump, dip, quick out. That's it.
But it works.
It works. So I'm like, you're getting mad because people are realizing that you're not a franchise quarterback. You're a solid starter maybe, but you're not a franchise guy. So I don't get you to be mad. Like, at the end of the day, I understand if you weren't winning games and people are blaming you because you're not winning, but the production hasn't been there. You have nights where you've thrown for 90 yards and the defense has scared you.
But he was good the year before.
He wasn't good. He was
When they
average.
made the playoffs?
He was at amazing defense, good running game. He was an average quarterback. We never looked at Baker Mayfield and said, that's a Pro Bowl quarterback. Was he even a Pro Bowl that year?
I don't know.
He was an average quarterback
Probably
that
not.
year. The defense was amazing, great. He has two Pro Bowl type running backs. And a solid receiving court time, great off the line, and a defense. Of course.
What I'm trying to say is that he had a solid year last year. He was entering this year, and he had the shoulder injury. I think the first week of the season against Kansas City. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first
From
week.
the get-go.
So it wasn't something where like he had this stretch of terrible games, then he got hurt. Oh, okay. Now we're just gonna put it all on the shoulder.
DeAndre, it's been the last couple years. There's just the same. Okay, let me ask you this: has he gotten better every year? I feel like issues.
I feel like he has.
The issues he came in with are still some of the same issues he still has.
Before the
missing receivers, not. Wait a second. Go ahead.
I was saying before the injury, I feel like he was getting better every year.
But you can't because you're saying because he took a less game managing perspective. You can't say he was getting better as a quarterback. He was playing less a role. They were taking the ball out of his hands and saying, "Hey, just do less." And just don't crash the Mercedes.
I mean, that's a fair point.
But that's honestly how some quarterbacks start out. They need to be.
But this is
those
a
game
first
managers.
overall pick, DeAndre.
Okay, but I'm saying either way, some quarterbacks They just need to be the game manager role for a while, and then they start.
look at
taking
Russell.
That's not a franchise quarterback thing.
Russell Wilson was one.
That's different. Russell Wilson, yeah, that's true. But they also have the talent around Russell Wilson. It was a running offense. It was already a running offense and
And a great defense.
They gave Baker Mayfield receivers. He had talent. Odell Beckham was still a Pro Bowl receiver when he came out of New York. And we looked at that like, oh man, he set 2 tight ends.
They brought him Tom Brady early in his career.
Tom Brady was a 6th round draft. Look at these guys you're naming. This is the number 1 pick in the draft, DeAndre. It's not a 6th round draft pick.
Okay, fine.
Russell Wilson was what? What round? 5th, 6th round?
Third
Round draft pick. Okay. This is a guy who's a first overall pick. You name me. Look at the last 8 years. Maybe Mark Sanchez is the only guy you're gonna name me that came in the league, number 1, top 3 draft pick, or top 5, I'll say, that has not been get right in the fire, throw him right in there. Let's play. Let's see how it works.
Top 5 draft pick?
Yeah, at quarterback.
Sam Darnold.
And he's what we look at him at? Might be on his 3rd team. Justin Herbert came in right away. We knew he could play. We seen he could play. Who else was top 3? We saw Matthew Stafford could play right away and sling it. If you are the guy, you're the guy.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton could play right away
Until his body broke down on him.
Yeah, but he could play right away. MVP. This is I get what you're saying. That's normal for a quarterback that comes out later in the rounds. We're talking about number 1 overall draft pick. Josh Allen had his struggles his first year, but also talent around him wasn't there. He had the talent like what your man.
But also coaching with the ball was a big part of that too.
Coaching as well, but also talent. Having a receiver that can go down there and get it. You know what I mean? But who else? Lamar Jackson came in his rookie year and showed signs he could be something special. Came in the second year.
Lamar Jackson didn't play his rookie year.
Played a couple games.
He played the end.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he played the end. He showed, okay, maybe might be something here. Came in the next year, MVP.
Joe Burrow.
Who else? Got the other quarterbacks.
And what you talking about? Baker Mayfield came in his rookie year. He started mid-season, I think.
Tyrod.
Yeah, after Tyrod.
Played. Browns won how many games under Baker that year? So he came in and produced.
And then,
but this is
what I'm saying. That was for Freddie Kitchens' offensive coordinator, right?
I think.
Freddie Kitchens.
Okay, and then what happened? We come in the second year with expectations a little bit because they added some talent. They said, oh, you know what? He's actually pretty good. Let's add some talent around, see what we can really do. But keep Freddie Kitchens, give him the head coaching job. What happened that second year? Turnover.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of hard because I think to an extent, I think if you look,
Kyler Murray's another one.
Year by year, I think Baker has gotten better as a quarterback, but also with Stefanski coming in and having a more run heavy offense, I think that's certainly impacted the way Baker played. Because at Oklahoma,
he never did that.
Yeah, he never did that. It was always shotgun or pistol or vertical. It was always a vertical offense. It never was under center. It never was hand the ball off 23, 24 times a game to your back, right? And I think, but on the other hand, I will say to Javante's point, you got to adjust your game to help win.
Kyler Murray ran the same offense, bro.
I mean, Russell Wilson early on in his career, he was kind of maybe not in the same spectrum, but he was a game manager, relied on Marshawn Lynch, Legion of Boom. But then when all that went away, Russ got better as a quarterback. Colin Kaepernick is another example, and
I'm
just gonna say with Cap. Mm-hmm. I feel like, early on Cap should have been in the NFL still, yes, and he was blackballed, obviously. We all know that. But my thing with Kaepernick was he never changed his game. He never adapted to the NFL. He was always he was a run first, a scramble the moment of lanes open quarterback, like Russ. Russ got better as a passer. Cap did not. Cap faded out.
Let me ask this also.
Another number 1 pick. I mean, you want to talk about who had struggles early and then ended up picking himself back up? Alex Smith.
Yeah.
He never became. He was never. Did he ever live to the height where he was? Aaron Rodgers was a better quarterback. We know that. He never lived to the height.
Yeah.
Look at Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck came in the league right away. Was solid. Robert Griffin was solid. First, we knew those guys. Those guys were true talents. Alex Smith was good as a game manager. He's like Baker Mayfield. I watched NFL ESPN. It was so funny, bro, because they had Matt Hasselbeck's brother on there. And it was funny. He said, I knew he wasn't no top pick. And then he said, I knew because he was me. And they show their stats next to each other for the draft. It's exactly the same.
Yeah,
with Hasselbeck, I think having a better vertical. It was the same stats. It's like the Browns just messed up with the pick. If Baker Mayfield would win the 3rd or 4th round, we would not say the same thing. It's because he went number one. And look who's in his class.
Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Both of them who are probably going to.
Let me add this.
Allen already got paid.
And I'll let y'all have it back. In the NFL nowadays, we can all agree the time management for waiting for somebody to develop is way small. You get about 3 years to be the guy. If you're not the guy, we're moving on. Nobody's waiting like the Mark Sanchez days, like 10 years ago. 10 years, 20 years ago. Well, I'll wait 5, 7 years to see what you're gonna become. No, you're the guy. You're out.
Unless it's a situation where it's like Trey Lance and you have a bridge guy ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
And Trey Lance we all knew he needed development. When they got him, they knew he needed development.
right.
Baker Mayfield was drafted number 1 to say,
But
hey,
I'm trying to go back to the point because me and Alec agree with you. It was time to move. Like as far as the Browns moving on from Deshaun Watson or moving on
From
to
Baker.
Deshaun Watson from
It
Baker,
happened.
it happened. I understand that. Hey, at the end of the day, you're always trying to improve the team. You're always trying to improve the roster. You're always trying to find someone better. But what we're
From a
saying
ownership perspective.
from a point of, hey, it would have been nice to inform this guy, let this guy know that, hey, we might be moving on from you this offseason.
I get that from the
Baker
player
didn't
perspective.
get
I
that.
get that. But if I'm a player also, I also got to realize I haven't been the best player either. I've also talked to the media. My wife has said a lot of stuff outside that doesn't look good. So I got to look at that. Like, John, it's like if you have we all had jobs. We got jobs. If you're working, right, and you ain't show up for work, you ain't been to work always. You always kind of late sometimes. You know, they can't really depend on you always. Do you expect them to give you a call like, hey, we're going to look for somebody else in your job? Or they're going to call you and say you're fired. We found a replacement.
I mean, most times they will inform you like, hey, you're getting close to getting fired.
They'll give you fair
give you
warning.
And you don't think Baker Mayfield wasn't close when they said we're not giving you an extension? That was the close right there. We're getting close. No extension for you? We're getting close.
I mean, that wasn't more of like, oh,
how many quarterbacks they make?
That was more of a guy getting paid $20 million a year
you tell
for
me-
the fifth year
you tell
option.
me the la- you tell me last time.
that wasn't something like,
Hold
that
on.
we're telling Baker Mayfield he ain't getting that fifth. That's something that everybody
No,
knew.
you tell me
Everybody
this.
knew he
Guys,
wasn't
you
getting
tell
the
me
fucking
this.
option.
What
you know?
quarterback that went top 5 doesn't get their extension before their contract's finished? Josh Allen got paid his contract. Lamar Jackson's about the numbers. He got to get
It's
the
kind
numbers.
of funny because
Jameis didn't.
Mariota.
Question marks.
Mariota.
Mariota.
Question marks. These guys aren't on the same team they got
It's
drafted by.
It's funny because even Darnold got his fifth year option when you think about it.
They're all the guys that are like questionable guys. The guys that you know is your quarterback. If you know you're my quarterback, I'm gonna give you your extension. Lamar Jackson just gotta get the numbers right. Kyler Murray's gonna get his extension. Just numbers gotta get right.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield's like, do we need to extend this guy another fund? I don't know, man. So that was your sign right there. When they give you
Especially
your
when-
contract, you should know I'm on the verge.
Especially when you consider the market of quarterbacks is
Exactly.
getting bigger and bigger every day.
And
It's
where
like-
you were drafted at number 1, if you're the guy, I'm gonna get my contract.
right. That's fair.
So that to me as a player, that would be my warning to say I gotta get my stuff together because I they haven't paid me yet. I gotta show them the guy.
Well, those two different things. It's different between a warning of, hey, I gotta get my shit together, I gotta play better, versus, hey, someone's about to replace me right now.
But that's the thing, Johnny. That's what I'm saying. Is like the replacement has been in motion since last offseason when they told him, hey, we're not extending you. That was the motion right
Well, I
there.
think it was
starting.
more of prove it to us that you can be the guy.
Yeah, that's already to me as a player. That'd be my motion already to say like, I might not be here.
And regardless, I'm pretty sure everybody, when we thought about the Browns moving on from Baker Mayfield, we thought, oh, okay, they might draft somebody, have
Jimmy Garoppolo.
He'll compete for the starting job, and if he loses it, he loses it. They didn't think. Deshaun Watson, a clear upgrade. Who he's guaranteed the starting job right from the jump.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So
Those are two different things, in my opinion.
and I just think that if he goes to Seattle with Pete Carroll, it's the worst thing to happen
I don't like
to
that.
him.
I don't like that situation.
No.
But I mean,
I don't know what Seattle's in it.
And they have
You know what,
they have Drew Lock still too. They have 2 young quarterbacks.
I like it just for the personalities.
No, but also you got think about it. Well, let's be honest. Does Baker Mayfield get the starting job coming in? He has
He has to compete, which is fair. It's fair for him.
but my thing is like this: how's Baker Mayfield going to react if he doesn't win the starting job? He's on the bench.
Well, that's on him.
Well, actually,
that's
it
on
could
him.
be a 3-man race because today they announced they signed Geno Smith.
Exactly.
Man, we both know Geno.
Now Geno Smith had some solid. He was solid.
Hey, Geno was okay.
okay.
Geno ain't.
Considering the team that he played with, he was okay.
Yeah, for the team rebuilding, also it might say Geno Smith wins up 2.
So you tell me Geno in the running for the starting job?
DeAndre, think about what's
Well,
the
I think it's
what's
with
the
Drew
mission?
Lock, but my thing is, why not?
Well, also
You're not going to be good. You're
that's what
not
I'm saying.
going to
What's
compete.
the mission? If I'm trying to win 3 games, maybe Geno Smith is my guy.
That's like me going into that year where Seattle went in training camp with Matt Flynn, Tavares Jackson, and Russell Wilson for that training camp battle.
And if I'm
Someone's got to win it.
We all knew Tavares wasn't winning.
if I'm a Seattle fan as well,
rest in peace, Tavares Jackson.
if I'm a Seattle fan as well, do I even want Baker Mayfield? This man came through the ball. He couldn't throw the ball to Odell Beckham.
At that point, I'd rather keep Drew Lock.
Facts. I'd rather roll with Drew Lock, see what he's about, and if he ain't the guy, let's go in the draft. Why get these 2 young quarterbacks and be
Play
basically?
Drew Lock, and if
guy-
you want Tank, play Geno.
There you go, and we go in the draft to get a quarterback.
I've always liked Tennessee as an option for Baker Mayfield if he's able to sign there for a cheap 1-year deal. You never know.
Why do I want him in Tennessee?
Well,
Is Ryan Tannehill really any? Pretty much the same thing as Ryan
but
Tannehill.
if Ryan Tannehill falters, put Baker Mayfield in.
I'm basically doing the same thing.
I know, yeah. But at this point, but still, might as well
You
try.
never know.
But
I mean, the same thing happened with Tannehill.
I think Tannehill's
Mariota.
better though.
Yeah.
Tannehill's a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. At least he can run and he's bigger.
Yeah.
You say that, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Tennessee,
and also, but I'm also looking at it from a point of Tennessee doesn't even have a good backup quarterback. You're looking at their backup. It's what Logan Woodside.
Yeah.
So,
I think Baker
They don't
Mayfield
have
gets released.
yeah, I'm saying like if he gets released, he latches on.
If he gets released, he needs to go sit. He need to go play like Atlanta or something like that. Try to see if he can get a job at Atlanta or one of those kind of.
That could be one. I think Tampa Bay would be a
Maybe
good.
Maybe I go see what Washington's talking about. Carson Wentz might mess
Yeah.
it up, and I can go play in Washington.
I think Tampa Bay could take a chance on him too. You know, learn
And
from
maybe New York if
Yeah.
the Giants move on from Daniel Jones, the ball maybe could have the same kind of effect.
maybe Giants,
With Josh Allen. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's going to be a very confusing and odd situation up until he does leave Cleveland. It's going to be ugly no matter what.
because they have 4 quarterbacks on the roster right
I
now.
mean, it ain't really
Yeah.
odd. I mean, I know where. Hey, if I'm Baker, I know where I stand. I'm already getting my stuff packed up. We moving out. 'Cause I know I ain't gonna be here. I know where
Right.
it is. I'm out. It doesn't matter where I'm going. And the fact that's also another thing. The fact nobody has traded for him yet should tell you what the market looking like.
Well, I think the Browns are holding out just to see what happens
Yeah, it's
with.
not a matter of like teams.
Why? Let me hold on for what? I have Jacoby Brissett.
Well, because they want at least a third, second round pick for him.
Yeah.
But the fact you're probably gonna get.
But if you
that.
hold on to him, if somebody gets injured or in training camp,
Yeah,
the Baker's price will go up.
because we talked about this last week
Okay.
because you remember when Teddy Bridgewater went down from
No,
Minnesota.
I know.
And Minnesota went out and traded for Sam.
Let me ask you this
Bradford.
though. I can go get Jimmy Garoppolo. I'd rather have Jimmy Garoppolo than Baker Mayfield.
Well, the Niners might want to keep Garoppolo if Trey Lance isn't ready.
No, based on when the Giants said, you gotta play Trey Lance. And I think honestly, you gotta play Trey Lance. You traded all that stock to get him. You gotta play him. You can't play Jimmy G
But
again
also, it's weird how Jimmy G hasn't been traded yet.
because he had
And
injury. His injury messed him up. Also,
And
though.
he still could be traded. Carolina's a team that needs a quarterback, and if let's say they opt to choose an offensive tackle or any other position besides quarterback with that 6th overall pick, they don't have another pick until the 4th round. So I don't see them getting one there. So at that point, you trade maybe a next year's 3rd or 4th for Jimmy G. That's one starting spot already gone. So yeah, I could see Baker with a team losing a quarterback in training camp.
I can call Jimmy Garoppolo. I can call Cam Newton up. I can see what they want for Jimmy Garoppolo.
I would take
Baker
over Cam
right now.
Cam at this point is a shell of what he used to be.
Yes.
Cam was bad.
and Baker has no show to go off of. So
Cam was bad last year.
At least with Baker, there's still potential.
Okay, let me ask you this: what team is? Depends on also the team and what my position is. What I'm trying to do with my season. It depends what team it is. Also,
I think to me it's a matter of right now. I think Baker gives me a better chance to win games.
I can call.
If I was a contending team,
Okay,
and I lost my quarterback. Let's say if I was the Rams and I lost Stafford.
I'd rather call Philly and see if I can go get the backup that was in Jacksonville.
Minshew.
I think Minshew's better than him right now. Minshew could play and carry you better than Baker Mayfield can. I call about Minshew. I can call about Joe Flacco maybe and see if he can just hold on the fort. I'm not saying Joe Flacco's the guy, but Joe Flacco could be a decent quarterback.
Yeah, I'll take.
I can call about Andy Dalton. I can call about Nick Foles. If I'm a contender, I can definitely call about Nick Foles. I'm a contender because that man known for winning.
And we know what
Javonte.
we know what Nick Foles do.
Baker Mayfield is better than all of those.
No,
guys
he
you
is
just
not.
mentioned.
I read if. I'm gonna ask you. If you're just talking for 1 year, I'm a contender, trying to still win. Do I want Baker Mayfield still have to do is a project and has to play a certain type of way, or I rather Nick Foles, who's experienced, been in a Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl, MVP?
You can't ask me that question because I'm unbiasedly on the Nick Foles train.
Andy Dalton.
I am all for chaos.
Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield's whoever gets him. It's a project. Even if you're a contender, he's a project. He's not. You can't tell him to win.
If the Rams are on the verge of a wild card spot and you need X, Y, and Z to happen, and you have to win out your games, give me Nick Foles over anybody.
Okay. In that case,
Give me
if I lost
Foles.
Stafford at the end of the season, I'm heading into the playoffs. Sure, I'm picking up Nick Foles.
Even before-
But if I need someone to play 16 games,
Yeah, Nick Foles can't play 16 games.
He can't play 16 games.
No. In crunch time, if you need X, Y, and Z to happen, Nick Foles is your guy.
That's why Nick Foles didn't work out in Jacksonville. when he's a backup who's thrust into a starting job,
we know he had
the man is great.
Yeah.
Same with
Okay,
Andy
well,
Dalton.
Minshew. I think Minshew's better than Baker Mayfield.
Again, when he's a backup,
Minshew didn't get no fair. He played pretty good in Jacksonville. He just didn't get a fair opportunity for it. Let's be honest. That team was just bad. He was actually a decent quarterback in Jacksonville.
Well, they were taken for Lawrence. We all knew.
Well,
it.
we all knew that. But I'm just saying, I'd rather have guys like that than a guy that's still trying to prove, that still doesn't know what he is and still trying to find out what he is as a quarterback. Minshew knows what he is. Nick Foles knows all those guys I named know what they are as quarterback. They know where they stand in the league. This guy right here still thinks he could be a star quarterback. So this is basically
he still has potential to be.
He does.
I'll never shut him.
He does.
This is but you also have Tua Tagovailoa as your quarterback, so I guess you have to kind of back and defend this kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
no, what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
not even trying shots at Tua right now.
No.
What I'm saying
shots
is,
were thrown.
yeah, of course I were. I mean, you threw shots at me earlier, but it's all good. What I'm saying is, if I'm a team that's contending, I don't have time to try to train a guy and get a guy's confidence up and try to build an offense around this guy. Because you can't just throw. Let's be honest, can you throw Baker Mayfield into the Rams offense and tell him, "Hey, this is how we gonna play"?
Hold on.
Actually,
wait.
you know who I would call in all seriousness? I call Washington. They got two dudes over
Taylor
there.
Heineke?
No, Fitzpatrick too.
Fitzpatrick, yeah, that's another guy. There you go.
Again, Fitzpatrick
Actually, no, Fitz is like Nick Foles.
as a backup.
No,
thrust into a starting
Fitz is
role
like Nick
for a
Foles.
limited
Okay,
amount of
okay.
games.
So it's like this.
He's
Add this
good.
also. Any contending team that loses a quarterback probably ain't, especially in today's day, you're not probably winning the Super Bowl that year anyway. Let's be honest.
Nick Foles.
You're
did
still
it.
gonna try. I'm not gonna tell you.
So if the Chiefs lose
hold
Pat
on.
Mahomes-
So you telling me I'm gonna tell a guy like Aaron Donald, hey, fuck it, we're not playing.
No,
we're
you don't
not
have to tell
playing
Aaron
like
Donald
this
that. Aaron Donald knows that. If the Chiefs lose Pat Mahomes, knock on wood, and they bring in Baker Mayfield, they are not going to win the Super Bowl.
year. If I'm signing,
They're not contenders no more.
If I'm signing all these guys, like let's say, because you look at the Rams roster right now, they signed all these guys for 1 year deals, cheap deals just for a chance to win a Super Bowl, right? So I'm telling them, hey, you signed this contract, it was a waste of time. You could have signed anywhere else.
That's how sports goes, bro. That's how the sports works.
But look, hear me out, because you always talk about like, oh, I don't know, like about Baker Mayfield and like what coach like offensive, like what you just say about Baker.
I said that Baker Mayfield still thinks he's a star quarterback. He's to come in. You have to change your offense to fit him. Like Sean McVay did with Jared Goff.
Okay. Hear me out now. Now you just said you have to have an offense changer. So you put him with one of the most offensive-minded coaches in the game, and you're telling me he can't get nothing out of Baker Mayfield.
He's gonna get the same thing. My thing is, DeAndre, you're talking about contending teams. He's gonna get the same thing out of Jared Goff. It's the same thing. Actually, worse. I think Jared Goff's a better player than Baker Mayfield right now. That's the same thing. You're not getting.
Javonte, I question you, man, because Baker Mayfield is more talented than Jared Goff.
But Jared Goff's a game manager too. They're both game managers at this point.
But Baker is more talented.
You keep on going based on this man's been in the league for 6 years, and we talking about the same thing. At some point, we gotta look at the numbers and say this guy ain't what these other guys are that was in his class. We gotta compare it to all these other young guys that are coming up in this league. Let's be honest. If Malik Wilson's a ball, we'll see what he is.
Okay, fine. You say that he's not as good as players in his class. Then what about Eli? Eli wasn't as good as Ben Roethlisberger. Eli wasn't as
Eli's
good as
not that good. I never.
But Eli did enough to win a
because
championship.
Eli also had guys around him. He had Michael Strahan. He had great players around him.
Javonte, what do the Rams? What do the Rams have around Baker Mayfield? You got Aaron Donald. You got a fucking defensive MVP.
But you've had that.
You got Bobby Wagner.
You've had a great defense for years. The problem is Jared Goff was never that good. That the divisions.
And they still made
also
even with Jared Goff, they still made the Super Bowl.
And they were a playoff team year in and year out.
Year
also,
in, year out, they were a playoff
yes,
team.
you're going to get so much. We're talking about a contender. Come on now. And also, you brought up Eli Manning. That was literally over 10 years ago, bro. The league was different back then. You could run the ball and call it a day. You could play a guy like shout out my man from Baltimore. You could play a guy like that and win games with defense. You can't do that no more. You have to be able to put up points. Let's be honest. Baker Mayfield ain't outscoring nobody. Let's be honest. Okay, match this. If you have Baker Mayfield, let's say Matt Stafford got hurt and Baker Mayfield's your starting quarterback on the Rams. Are you taking him over San Francisco?
Yes.
If Jimmy Garoppolo, say you take that team over San Francisco coming into the season.
I take the team over San Francisco, yes.
Why?
Well, it's the same. If you're going to throw that argument out, eye for eye, they're pretty much the same kind of team. If it's a matter of quarterback, if it's Garoppolo or Baker, I take Baker over Garoppolo.
But let me ask you this, though. The quarterback position, right? Say Trey Lance is the quarterback. Sean McVay offense is built more around with throwing the ball. Look at the receiving core they had. They have Allen Robinson. They went and added more receivers. They're based around throwing the football.
But that's what Baker did at Oklahoma.
But that is what he did.
Baker did that at Oklahoma.
But we saw he graduated with Freddie Kitchens. He couldn't sling it. And he had Odell Beckham and those same guys.
Freddie Kitchens is no longer coaching.
Sean McVay.
He ain't Sean McVay. I agree with that. But I'm just saying, we look at Jared Goff, a guy who was slinging in college. Is what it is.
Jared Goff wasn't slinging like
He wasn't
that.
He can throw the ball, though.
He could throw,
Where he became now.
But he wasn't.
But
he didn't have the offense.
But
like
was
Baker
Jared
Mayfield
Goff
running.
was Jared Goff year in and year out a Heisman candidate?
No.
But that's because the Oklahoma offense, everybody's a Heisman candidate when you go to Oklahoma, except for Caleb Williams this year. Jalen Hurts was a Heisman candidate. Kyler Murray,
that's what I'm trying to say, Javonte, is that if you get a Sean McVay, offensive-minded guy like him, he can make an offense
He'll make it work.
He can make Baker Mayfield feel comfortable enough.
And you're talking about
you're
talking about offensive line that's not that good. Let's be honest, the offensive line Matthew Stafford was getting hit a lot. You're talking about a guy who's very injury prone. Does he even make it through 17 games? You're talking about Nick Foles. Can Baker Mayfield make it through 17 games in a division where it's very much, hey, we gonna get after you and hit you?
I'll
First
say
of
this,
all,
if Baker Mayfield got hurt after let's say a certain amount of games, then at that point, then you can say, all right.
But my thing is, you're talking about Nick Foles with injuries. You're talking about Nick Foles with injuries and stuff like that. Let's see if Baker Mayfield can make it through 17 games.
first
I know,
of all,
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But if Baker Mayfield got hurt, at the end of the day, I can say, you know what? At least we tried. At least we tried to find a replacement. It didn't work out. He got hurt. Fuck it. Let's just tank this year.
correction, Javante. It's not a matter of if Nick Foles can play 17 games. He only needs to play about 4
Okay,
to get you where he needed to be.
But my point is, Baker Mayfield already has injury issues. And you're talking about a division that's gonna be beating him up.
That's fair. Okay, so I mean, with kind of what kind of relatively a slow week in the NFL, would you say it's been a slow week as far as anything going on in your side of the world, DeAndre and Javante? Because I mean, I feel like nothing really is broken that's like major.
I think there's hype around. I mean, I know people say, "Oh, you're Marvel bias again." I mean, Marvel has a lot of hype going on with the Thor Ragnarok, the Thor Love and Thunder toys being released.
Yeah,
people getting images and stuff like that. It's kind of weird how they're doing their promo because they haven't released no trailer, but they're releasing toys, so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did the trailer after Doctor Strange.
How do y'all
like
feel?
how Spider-Man did it, where they had in Spider-Man you got like Doctor Strange clip.
Yeah.
I'd be cool if they did it with Thor. Like, show the real fans the trailer first, then put it out to the world.
How do y'all feel about Gore the God Butcher's look?
I think it looks cool.
Christian Bale.
I like.
I dig it. I dig it.
I feel like they could have did more.
We haven't seen it yet. It's only you saw the toy. You haven't
saw
seen it.
I saw the toy and there was the they had that little leaked poster.
On
the side, yeah.
But
So, I mean,
I think it looks pretty. I think it looks cool. I think they're doing a lot less CGI on them, so I just think that's pretty cool. More Christian Bale.
Yeah, I mean, we
always talk about they want less CGI.
I mean, obviously, like in Spider-Man, right? Like when Goblin, there was no mask, but Defoe sold it off of looks alone.
See, I'll
Christian
say-
Bale's a great actor.
I mean,
think
there's that. Yeah, there's great actors who like sometimes
they could sell it.
Yeah, but also there's actors who have CGI. Like, let's look at what's his name? I don't know how to pronounce. Bill, is it Nighy or whatever? Played Davy Jones in Pirates of the Caribbean. Amazing performance. Probably one of my favorite like top 10 villain performances in film. And that was full CGI. But yet, when you looked at Davy Jones and how he looked in the film, like he had all the emotions that he had. So
Right.
I think that's one.
I think you don't need CGI though. If you could do like straight up just paint, I think that works too. I don't think you have to do CGI for everything. Like, of course, for some gills,
the thing
you
is,
got to make them move and stuff like that too. That's why it made sense for that.
The thing is, it looks just kind of basic.
But I mean, that's sometimes we want that. We always say, "Oh, I'm tired of CGI character." Like it makes sense to like a character like David Jones because you have to make the gills and all that kind of stuff move all the time.
But you went from Thor Ragnarok where you gave me Hela, who has dope ass CGI mask.
That's it.
And
though.
I'm going to the door. Just basically, like he looks like
he might be cool though.
He looks
we've been seeing anything.
He
yet.
looks like man. I looked at that picture, bro. He looks like Zordon from Power Rangers when he was out of that containment.
Okay, here, fine, look at this. Star Wars doesn't do a lot of CGI with their character. They put people in costumes. They do a lot of stuff by their costumes, which is cool. We love it. So I mean, I think you're picking and choosing. I think you're just honestly hitting nitpick because Marvel.
Oh my god!
I think it's a little bit biased.
Not everything has to be because from Marvel.
You be a big person also say like, oh yeah, we always CGI everything. Everything's CGI. This CGI. This CGI. Why don't they ever do that? Just like makeup and special effects.
Look at the picture. Look, Jennifer has the screen right now. Look at it. It stands out with more like.
That's not the one I'm looking. That's not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one that was on the Marvel Legends box.
It basically looks the same.
No, it doesn't. It looks way different. We don't know what this shot was taken. If you could pull up the Marvel Legends box,
okay. Go ahead, pull
it looks different from the side. Look at the picture from the side. Look at the angle right there. There you go, perfect.
It looks like the same fucking thing.
Get the side angle. I'm talking about the next one over. One more.
That one, right?
Next one right there. Yeah, that's the one. There you go. It looks different than that what we just saw. It has a little bit
also, it is a toy.
That's a toy also, bro.
It is a toy.
And then my toys also, if you don't know how toys work.
You're limited in what you
That's
can
not a
put
toy.
on.
That's an actual picture.
No, but also this. You forget how Hasbro, how this stuff works. They're given looks before the movie even comes out. Like they're giving their projections of what the character might look like way in advance, which is why figures always get redone because they don't look accurate to the movies.
So that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know why you're getting mad at me for judging it right now if that's what if they're trying to change it.
Because I'm not saying Sure, I'm just saying I don't care. I don't need CGI on the character to make the character cool. Like I don't need. All you need is CGI.
It's not just CGI. You just look at his costume, like how he looks in the comments. He has the black around it. It makes it stand out.
But I'm saying,
versus where you have this all white, it just doesn't look right.
Aren't you always want saying let's see the trailer first and see what we see? We haven't seen anything. We don't know how it looks yet when we see it in person.
Javonte, bro, why you just ignore what I'm saying? I said yes. When it comes out, I'll judge it then, but I'm judging it right now, at the moment.
I dig it. I get it.
So what you want to CGI it all up? And then you got to complain about all we do is CGI everything. You can't win with your ass.
Not all of it.
You know, but you're saying we always talk about let's do less CGI. Why we got to do so much CGI all the time? Right? We always talk about that. Like Star Wars don't do a lot of CGI with their characters.
Well, I mean, there's some cases in the MCU where it's like, okay, why CGI the mask?
But that's what I'm saying. You pick and choose your argument. You're like, oh, bro, you have to CGI all the costumes and stuff like that. You pick and choose when you want to be, oh, yeah, I'm with it, I'm not with it. What I'm saying is they don't need to CGI the character to make them look cool. Then I'm with it.
Okay, all right.
You're talking about, you're not making no sense.
Honestly, I can't tell the difference between that toy, that toy's look and white vision. I can't tell the difference.
Jeez. I mean, from here, you're not wrong.
That's a good face sculpt. I saw that face sculpt. That's a good Christian Bale head sculpt.
But I think Christian Bale, regardless, is going to kill it.
I don't think it looks bad. It looks cool to me.
I see more. All we want is a trailer.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking for.
So. But besides that, Thor got the toys and stuff like that. We got Doctor Strange coming out in a couple weeks. Just a lot of good content coming. We got Moon Knight still shining, doing his thing. I haven't watched.
Did you guys get your tickets yet?
No, I haven't done it yet. I got to see what my work schedule looking like. I don't want to do it and then I got to go to work and I'm going to be mad. So, Lady Thor looks interesting too. I like the costumes and what they've shown so far. I'm surprised they released toys so early. I'm like, damn.
We just need a trailer. That's all I'm asking.
I think they're going to put it after Thor. Or maybe they might put it in the Doctor Strange movie. They might put it at the beginning of that one because they don't need they don't really need a trailer, honestly. Like, if they didn't have a trailer, they dropped the trailer like a week before the movie came out. They're still going to do numbers. People are going to still go see it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind they test the limits and say, you know what, let's put it in front of the movie and see how people react. And
like during the theater.
That might be the new wave. It might create the new wave. Like
when does Thor: Love and Thunder come out?
November.
It's late on, yeah.
It's November.
I think it's November. Yeah. We have Kenneth fact checking, but
there's no teaser.
I believe it's November. Those are not even like a teaser out.
I thought it was this month. I thought it was this year, July. It literally, I remember he said July. Yeah, I'm like
close.
Yeah, you can't wait till Doctor Strange.
They can. They can push the limits and say, when Doctor Strange comes out May 4th, first week of May.
I mean, and the trailer came out December. At the end of December.
2 more months till the movie comes
out. I mean, and kind of like, a point with Marvel in particular, you don't need to do a whole trailer. Like, you don't need to do a whole press tour to promote it. The moment it drops, it's already the promotion work is already done on their part.
So you agree?
Because guys like us and you are going to talk about it nonstop.
Yeah, we're gonna go see it.
Yeah,
they got us all.
The moment they drop
basically what you're saying is it's built on hype.
That's anything. Batman's built on hype too.
Doctor Strange is built on hype. Spider-Man is built on hype.
What Batman built on hype?
The moment Duel of Fates dropped Obi-Wan, it was a hype at that point.
That's how we are. We're nostalgic. We love the nostalgia and we love the characters.
We're nerds.
So we're all for
We're like cool nerds.
The only people that don't have to get, but honestly, for this, you got Chris Hemsworth. Girls love him. You're gonna be able to sell new fans. Like, oh, Chris Hemsworth, big arms hanging out. I mean, you're gonna sell people automatically.
I mean, also he's the first original Avenger to have 4 solo movies.
And his last movie, some people say it's like the top 5 MCU movie for them, like the Thor Ragnarok. Not me, but like. Some people really love that movie, so I definitely think sales. Yeah. I think it'd be good. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised they do like that. I mean, because we always push you look at the media, how trailers get taken out. Like before, think about it, it was on only you go to the movie theater to see a trailer. Right. Then it became YouTube, and then now we got the Twitter and Instagram. Like you can see everything everywhere. So it's like,
and now everything's leaked. Like I mean, when the Spider-Man cell phone footage of the trailer dropped, we all watched it. We all talked about it. We all tried to figure out
Avengers.
What was going on.
People saw the leaks of Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. People were
man.
But so yeah, I think they could just try a different approach with the promo and just do it before the movie. Yeah. Think about it, because especially can you imagine day one of Doctor Strange and like all the hardcore fans are in there and they see the Thor: Love and Thunder trailer to pop it off like right before you get ready to start that? It's like, oh my goodness, what experience!
I'm here for it. I'm hyped.
I think a lot of people would be. So that would be dope.
Anything else going on? Those have been not really.
Well, Warner Brothers, they have that thing with Discovery going on. They got the merger, and now they're considering a major overhaul of DC Entertainment.
Thank God.
They're reportedly planning to overhaul It's branded into a solidified content vertical group similar to how Marvel Studios operates. And basically, this was from Variety. They want a Kevin Feige-like leader, that DC lacks a coherent creative and brand strategy, that they want to revitalize characters like Superman, and they want more independent stuff like Joker.
Same we've been saying for months, pretty much. Same shit.
Yeah, so something we kind of thought all along would and should happen if DC wants to become like relevant again.
Oh, for sure.
Also, I like to add in there, speaking of like big time moves and big time universes and stuff like that, Brie Larson has joined the Fast and the Furious franchise. I'm curious to see what she's gonna do in there. Hey, you know what?
She's probably superpowers.
Hey, no lie, bro. The fact that Brie Larson wanted to join the franchise, like she has Vin Diesel and stuff like that, like to join, speaks highly of the franchise and how people view it. I know we always joke and Johnny likes talk bad about it, but like Brie Larson's a Oscar-winning actress. Like she's big time.
It's an A-lister.
For her to want to join the Fast and Furious franchise, like no, Johnny calls it a joke and stuff like that. But a lot of people still see it, like celebrities-wise, still see it as a franchise to be a part of because it's so popular and so big.
I mean, it's probably the most
outside the Star Wars MCU. Stuff like that,
because it's a franchise. It's similar to a franchise that have cult followings. It's a franchise that has a cult.
That's everything though. Star Wars has a cult following. Everything has a cult following.
And people love to do Star Wars.
What I'm saying, for Fast and the Furious to hit that level, and we always talk about the joke, is kind of crazy to me. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I feel that.
Shout out to family.
As far as Warner Brothers, and going back to as far as getting a Kevin Feige like person, I'm nominating 4 people. Bruce Timm, guy directed or was a creator of the Batman, the animated series, all those old animated series. They gotta bring in some guys from the animated series because animated movies and shows stood out. So I feel like why not bring someone
doesn't always correlate though to live action. It doesn't always correlate well.
No, fuck it. It would be better than
video game films.
It would be better than what the hell they had before.
But it's like with video games, like when you bring a video game director and a developer in to help with a film for a movie.
Okay, fine. Well, if that's not the case, well, either way, Bruce Timm, depending on what stories he keeps, because obviously if he comes, you just got to make sure he writes in his contract that he doesn't have that killing joke shit that he wrote with Bruce Wayne and Barbara.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that. Paul Dini is another guy who was attached to DC animated projects as well. Jay Oliva, he's another guy who did the recent New 52 arc. I think he would be great. And a lot of the Jay Oliva, especially, he's actually written a lot of comic books as well and collaborated on comic books for DC as well. So I think he would be a good choice.
You know what I'll call it? They're directors.
Oh, and Jim Lee as well.
I would call up the Russo brothers and see if how they feel about coming over and doing it, because I feel like they've been experienced with Marvel. Like they've been around Kevin Feige firsthand. They're also fans of like DC Universe and stuff like that as well. And they do great films. Like all the films that they've done are beloved. They've done big time movies with like bringing people together and stuff like that. So I think I would give them a call to see if they want to be a part of this and see if they want to see like a future with it. Because like those guys are very big nerds and stuff like that too. Like they like doing other projects and stuff like that too. But I can see them want to join in maybe and make a universe.
Dig it.
Yeah. And also, lastly, just want to give a shout out to DC animated show Young Justice. I don't know if you watched the recent episode, but they've done a really good job of bringing.
Did it just drop today?
Yeah.
The newest one.
The newest one.
Is it the last of the Aqualad arc, or is it a new arc?
It's a new arc with Rocket. Yeah. You haven't watched it yet?
I just want my Nightwing arc, man.
Yeah, I know. Either way, Young Justice.
So it's Rocket. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's Rocket.
Cool.
Young. Cool. It's on New Genesis.
So, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, but shout out to the show and just in general, because the last couple seasons they've covered a lot of topics from trafficking. Sexual identity, sexual orientation.
Yeah.
Trying to think. This recent episode, Rocket's son has autism, and I thought they did a really good job of highlighting that as well and showing that.
Yeah, like ever since HBO Max kind of picked up where Cartoon Network left off with Young Justice, they've shown no hesitation to like bring in like real world problems and kind of incorporate it into the superhero world, which I really dig that, because it's something that I know there's not a whole lot of competition, but it's just something we haven't seen.
What do you mean?
Like we haven't seen a superhero show where it's gay heroes. Like Aqualad is
I
gay.
I guess you're saying because you're talking about because it's like more like out there. It's very open.
Yeah, it's very like
I know like shows like X-Men used to do the same thing kind of in a way, but it wasn't like as like just straight out
obvious or like what's his name, Fish Dude.
Oh, Garf. I think Gar.
Is it just Gar?
Or are you talking about the fish? Lagon?
From Atlantis.
Lagon?
Lagon.
Yeah.
Like they're in like a, I don't know, what do you call that?
I didn't know either. But I was confused when I first saw. I was like, "Hold on, what?" But,
it's like I guess open marriage type thing.
yeah,
maybe?
like he has.
But it's him, a chick and a guy, but they're all like in a relationship, and she has a kid, so that's like a 3
No comment.
parent.
No comment.
But they cross boundaries nonetheless,
Yeah.
and they bring real world issues and kind of like incorporate it into a superhero show.
Yeah,
which
like it's not to a point where like, hey, like it's just a small like tease, like let's say Russo like one of the Russo brothers in Avengers Endgame, where Marvel claimed that, hey, we're gonna have like the first LGBT character, and then they only had him for that one scene. That's what they like. A lot of people were pissed off.
Captain Marvel and
Now, but I'm saying like when they highlight that scene and they said, hey, like Avengers Endgame, they're gonna have the first LGBTQ character.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people thought it was gonna be more than just that.
right.
And what this show does, it's more like it goes more into that, but it doesn't go too much where it like takes away from the show. It's like, hey,
Right.
we're shoving all this shit down your face.
It's there, and you're like,
still,
oh,
yeah, it's still a good storyline with that as well. Like,
yeah.
you know, around
I guess
it.
there's two different approaches. I don't mind the approach of like having it in there, like it's like a low key thing, it's
Yeah.
for like people to catch on to, but it's not just straight out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine
It
with
depends
either
on
one.
everybody. I mean, everybody's. I don't
No,
have kids. I mean, I'm not. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm fine with it. It's just cool to see that it's now out there, so it's
yeah.
cool on that part. But I think that's gonna wrap things up, gentlemen. Any last words before we log off here today?
Damn, I'm
you
gonna say
got so much
this.
to say. I'm surprised you got nothing to say.
I'm gonna say I pray that Javonte and Baker Mayfield meet up one day. I would love to see that. I would love to see how that interaction goes.
I have no problem with Baker Mayfield, bro. I have no problem with that. I just said the man kept. I just said the man just did live up to the hype of the quarterback position he was at.
I dig
That's
it.
all I'm saying,
I
bro.
don't know. You said you take Nick Foles and several others over him. So
If I'm
that's-
contending, yes.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm gonna say? Shout out to my man Johnny Manziel. I've been watching so much Johnny Manziel footage lately, and just like him talking in interviews and stuff.
Hey,
Let me see Johnny football.
the fan control.
Shout out Johnny Football, bro.
That's the new thing.
Baker Mayfield can't touch Johnny Football. Give him the opportunities. Let's go. Go ahead.
Him and T.O. together now.
Yeah,
They are.
And the fan control thing. It's been crazy to watch on Twitch. But let's wrap things up, guys. Great show as always. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment on the videos. Drop questions in the comments, please.
You
We'd
didn't
love
read the
to.
questions today.
Yeah, you didn't even do that. Yeah.
You didn't read the questions like you supposed
We'll
to.
save those for next week and we'll add on to it. So, yeah, Baker Mayfield.
That took a lot of time. Yeah.
It happened. It's all right though. It was relevant. So we'll answer those questions next week as well as whatever other questions you guys have.
Maybe Baker might send one in.
Until then, you're going home with the final drive. We'll see you guys next time.
Sour Kids Productions.